Hi, I would like to take a few minutes and explain how you can use your data from the prediction packet to prove that Bigfoot exists. So I want to start on what the beginning of this math claim would look like. So you know, in your 5 claims, one of them has to be math with evidence. And so my claim could be that Bigfoot exists in the state of New Bernston. I made up my state because I made up my data. So you cannot use my data. I made it up. So I'm going to say that Bigfoot exists in the state of New Bernston. And I can talk about the way he exists because I researched BFRO website and I was able to collect the data of what years there have been Bigfoot sightings. And I know that the BFRO website, they take the time to personally read every report that comes in, and they do a follow-up interview. They get several of interviews that are crazy and out there, but the ones that they put on their website are the ones that they think like there's enough information there to say that Bigfoot was there, that they could have possibly seen Bigfoot. And then they even break it up into different classes. And so since I'm looking at the data from the BFRO website, I can safely say that Bigfoot exists in my state because when I collected the data, there were 16 points before 1990 or on 1990. And then I went through and I collected them all. I was able to then plot them on my scatter plot and then create the line of best fit. The line of best fit equation, and I think this is going to be backwards, but it's y equals negative 0.06 x plus 125.86. And I got that by looking at the M and the B that Desmos came up with. My M is my slope. And so this is just talking about how many sightings the change per year. So we are assuming that the sightings are going down just a little every year in New Bernston. And it could have began with 125 at year 0. So we didn't look that far back. We started at 1990. And so that would fall on this line, or that would fall right here. So by looking at my data, I have my table, I have my graph, and I have shown you my equation. I think Bigfoot exists because by assuming that he doesn't exist, you are saying that all of these people and all of the people who work at the BFRO who went through all of this data, they are all liars. And so even if just one of these people saw Bigfoot, he must exist. You are also, when you're looking at my data, you can predict that there is one sighting early in 2020 so far, and that would be about all that we could predict. But then 2021, there would also be about one sighting. So since you're still able to predict sightings in this state, then Bigfoot exists because I'm looking at the data, and the data shows that he exists in New Bernston. The third thing is that he is decreasing his sightings in my state because maybe he's just moving to the neighboring states. And so, yes, as he is migrating to different states, he is not in my state as much, but he is still around. And if you look at the neighboring states, you will see that their sightings increased maybe about the same time that mine started going down. So with those 3 reasons, I can prove to you that Bigfoot exists in the state of New Bernston. Okay, so debriefing that, I just want you to see that I went through the problem-solving process about how we took the data and how we made this information. I discussed that. I discussed logical conclusions based on the data. And I used all the correct math and definitions. And I saw all 3, like I showed you all 3 things. I saw the equation, they don't really have that here on Desmos. And so like I pulled it up here. I would want to see your equation, your table, and your graph while you are doing this presentation. And then you can make what conclusions that you would want to. You feel free to quote me if you think some of my information would work for yours as well. But I do think you should give props to me during your presentation if you plan on using my information. So please let me know if you have any questions. What I just presented to you would be considered 100% when it comes to your math claims and evidence. So please let me know how I can help you come up with your reasons based on your data. Thanks.